Hey everyone! So I know that this time of year is about as busy as it gets for a lot of us with spring concerts and performances and all of the wrap-up stuff that has to happen here at the end of the school year, and of course getting ready for marching band in the fall. So I'm going to jump right to it here. With being just a few days away from May, obviously profile creation on the OMIA website opens up on May 1st. I want to do a quick recap of how that works. It's changed very, very little since last year, but last year was brand new completely. So I want to make sure there's a video here. So I'm in members area. I'm going to go to register and marching band. And you can see I have this link right here, marching band profile creation. And I've already started because I've been testing this out. So if this is the first time, you're going to see a link right here to get started. After that first initial creation, or once you've started it, of course, you'll always be coming over here to edit. And you can always edit this. You'll be editing it, of course, throughout the year, or maybe up until state marching band finals potentially. Also notice these two tabs here. This is the same as last year. So once you've completed it, I can go in and basically approve it. And the main thing I'm looking at there is school size. I'm just confirming that the class you registered for, the class you're putting your ensemble in, is actually matches up with your ODE district enrollment. Okay, so this would say approved once it's been taken care of. And of course, copyright won't happen until later in the summer. But once I click on that, this is all pretty self-explanatory. It's only changed a little bit since last year. We added a few more questions or clarified some questions that just weren't laid out as well. There's a lot of drop downs down here when you get to the show information, specifically music, as far as whether you're using original compositions or arrangements or whatever. That might take you a few times to get through. And that's okay. So obviously, once you complete it, or maybe you work on it for a bit and then come back to it, you can always get back to what you've started on. And it's always going to be right here throughout the whole season. Once you've started it, it's always going to be located there. And one more time at the very bottom, check this out. Once you've completed your, we'll call it the boilerplate information all in here, class size, band logistic information, stuff like that. You just hit your submit form and you're good to go. So remember, that's the first step. Once you've completed your profile and it's been approved, you're all set for registration, which opens on June 1st. But you've got to have the profile there created and ready to go before you can register. You don't have to include all the information. You don't have to have all the copyright stuff included. Of course, that's a later deadline. The key thing is you've got kind of the boilerplate band size, classification in there, maybe a show title if you're at that point. That's the main things I'm looking at to approve it. On the subject of registration, keep in mind that we changed a rule last year in 2023 where if you perform weeks 1, 2, and 3 and you perform under the minimum time, under that 6-minute minimum, there's no point penalty, there's no rating reduction. So keep that in mind if you're looking to go out maybe a little bit earlier than normal. Last year we had, I think, over 15 bands take that option. And again, you can't qualify for state unless your show reaches the minimum time, but you don't have a point reduction or a rating reduction. So I think that's a great opportunity for our kids, and there's a lot of great sites out there those first 3 weeks. Also, on the subject of great sites, keep in mind OSU, the registration for that is the same as everywhere else. You register through the OMIA website, and then OSU takes that selection or takes that slate of bands and selects and invites the 40 or 45, whatever their number is every year, and they reach out to you directly. So it's not separate from our website like it used to be in the past. Also looking down the road, copyright. I talked about this in one of the earlier videos this winter, suggesting folks, encouraging folks, I guess you could say, to move along and not procrastinate. I took my own advice this year and actually had my copyright submissions in March, which I've never done it that early. And I took the opportunity, since I was kind of ahead of the curve there, to try, I don't know how to describe it. It kind of did the same music, of course, but two different paths, so to speak. I used the one big company that everybody knows, which is typically how I've done things. And I also reach out directly to the publisher. And in my experience, the big company that everybody knows often is quicker. Although since COVID, I think across the board it's been slower. At least that's been my personal experience, and I've talked to other folks who feel that way too. But this year, both of those organizations, the copyright, the direct publisher that is, and the big company, were both about 2 weeks. response, had an invoice in hand, and I went with the publisher because they were cheaper. But that's fine. So I don't know if that was because I'm optimistic. Maybe the industry has kind of rebounded from COVID and is faster, because last year that was definitely not the case. Or maybe it was because I was at a non-peak time. I mean, I don't know how many folks are getting those requests in, those copyright licenses in March. So, of course, right now we're coming into the peak time. So the takeaway here is please don't procrastinate. We had quite a few ensembles that were adversely affected because their copyright license was not in place for them to perform on time, and I know it was disruptive for their season. So don't let that happen to you. Be on top of it. Let me throw up on the screen here. These are our dates for summer sessions. Of course, they're required for adjudicators, and for event chairs have to attend. But they're open to anybody. So if you're a young director, old director, someone who's not an adjudicator but wants to learn more about the process, maybe thinking about becoming an adjudicator, I would strongly encourage you to come to one of the summer sessions. 3 different sites. Thank you to those folks who are hosting. And we got a free lunch for you. Just a great opportunity to kind of meet some new people if you've never been a part of it. So again, young directors or anyone who's interested, you're always more than welcome to attend. There's no pre-registration. You simply show up and stay as long as you like. But for adjudicators, of course, that is required. So that's all I've got for this month. Hopefully it didn't take up too much of your time. If you stayed to the end, thank you very much. And remember, key deadline's coming up May 1st in 2 days. Profile creation opens. And on June 1st, registration for events opens. So a lot of things coming up. Good luck with all your spring performances and everything that you have on your plate. I'm sure we're all very, very busy right now. Good luck. I'll see you in a month.